Hey everybody, Garnett here. I am actually at the south side where I have my business, La Maison Dining, and I thought I would use this opportunity to show you around. Alright, so when you first come into La Maison, you come up a series of stairs, and once you make it to the top of the stairs, you turn and there's a beautiful table, so many wonderful dinners. We have a beautiful chandelier from Murano, Italy, right off the coast of Venice. High ceilings, it's quite pretty. Right next to the table is the kitchen, and I have these cool screens that fold down and raise up. And then we go upstairs, another flight of stairs, and we have this lounge space. So as you come to the top, see this cool lounge up here, and we usually have cocktail hour up here before dinner. So people can sit up here, look out to the south side of Pittsburgh. If I lean over the edge here, I'm looking down on the dining table. Now we're on another floor, and I have another lounge. And so this is another place where people can relax, have a drink, talk maybe after dinner. So now we're up on the roof terrace. It's quite pretty, and off in the distance you'll see downtown Pittsburgh there. First thing that I do when I make a crab cake is I make an aioli. An aioli is basically like a mayonnaise, and so if you run out of mayonnaise right now at home, you can make your own mayonnaise, so to speak, with probably what you have on hand. So let me walk you through the ingredient. Okay, so I have 1 cup of canola oil. I have about 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. I have about 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, fresh. And then I have 2 egg yolks. I'm gonna put my 2 egg yolks right in here and just kind of give them a stir. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna emulsify this canola oil in with the egg yolks. And you wanna do it very, very slow. So just little drips. As slow as you can possibly get the oil to come out. If you go too fast, it's not gonna thicken up and it will not emulsify. I am finishing up the first part of the aioli here. I've got my last bit of canola oil going in. And there we go. Got it all in there. Give this a little stir. And I want you to see how thick this is. Pretty much like a mayonnaise. Don't worry about the raw egg yolk, because now we're gonna add a little lemon juice. And we're just gonna put a little bit of that in at first, not all of it. Because again, we want to emulsify liquids together slowly, never fast. So I'm gonna do just about a teaspoon of salt here. We've got basically our homemade mayonnaise. You could put this in the refrigerator and keep it for a week. Here I have about 2 tablespoons of very finely minced onion. I have 1 whole egg. I have about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I have 1 garlic clove. I have about 1/8 of a cup of chopped parsley. I have fresh tarragon, which will probably equal about a tablespoon. I have here some almond flour, only because this particular guest of mine does not want gluten in the dish, so I'm using almond flour, but you could use breadcrumbs, which is more common. And this is about 1/3 of a cup. I have lemon here, and then I also have fresh dill. So a few more ingredients for the crab cake. We have our crab meat, which is right here. This is jumbo lump crab meat, and I have 16 ounces. I have a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of canola oil, which we may or may not use. Again, I have this wonderful smoked Spanish paprika that I love so much, and we'll add a little bit of that in there. Of course, we gotta have Old Bay, baby. And then I'm gonna use some herbs de Provence. First thing we're gonna do is just gently cook the onion and the garlic, and normally I would use butter, but this particular guest of mine doesn't eat a lot of butter, so I'm just going to put a little bit of canola oil in a hot pan. You could use olive oil, you could use rapeseed oil, or you could use butter. And then we're going to add in the minced onions that we did earlier. We just want to sweat this. We're just cooking it a little tiny bit before we assemble the crab cakes. Then we're going to add just a pinch of salt, and then I'm going to grate in my garlic clove. Okay, and what will happen is you can see it underneath here, and I'll just take my finger and slide that right. Give it a little stir. You can see we're just kind of softening things up here together. So first thing we're going to do is dump our crab meat in a bowl. Make sure you pick over your crab meat because it could have little pieces of shell in there. Next thing we're going to add is, and really there's no specific order to this, we're just going to add everything in here. So I have Dijon mustard, I have my almond flour, but again you're probably going to use breadcrumbs. Okay, I have parsley, I have the dill that I chopped up, and this is about 2 tablespoons. I also have the tarragon that we chopped up. But again, you could use all dried herbs if that's what you have. I have 1 whole egg here. I'm gonna put that in. Okay. I'm gonna put some cracked pepper in here. And of course, season with a little salt, but not too much. I have my dried herbs that I'm going to add just for a little more flavor. About a half a teaspoon there. And then we have this Old Bay seasoning. I'll probably add about a teaspoon here. Okay. And then I've got this wonderful smoked Spanish paprika that I'm going to add just a little bit of. We have our aioli that we made earlier, so I'm going to use a pretty decent amount of this. I would say about 1/4 cup right now, and then we might add some more here in a minute. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, boop-a-doop-a-doo, boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop, boop-boo, boop-a-doop-a-doo, boop-a-doop-a-doo, boop-a-doop-a-doop-boop-boo. I'm gonna add some lemon zest, about half a lemon. Okay? And last but not least, a splash of olive oil for good measure. I forgot to mention that I added in the sauteed onion and garlic. So you could do that at any time before we form the crab cakes. Okay, so we're back, and we have the crab mixture that we made earlier. Gently, you don't want to squish these, just very gently. I like to roll them into almost a round ball. Once you have it in a round ball and you set it down, it will naturally flatten. I'm going to finish off this crab cake by cooking it. I have a hot non-stick pan here that I've preheated, and I have one of my favorite kitchen tools. I will show you this. It is a fish spatula. If you don't have one of these, get you one. I think you'll love it. I use it for just about everything. So we're going to add a little bit of canola oil to the pan. Get that nice and hot. Okay, a little bit more. And I'm going to add just a tiny bit of butter, because the fat in the butter is going to help with the browning process of the crab cake, because I want to get a little color on these cakes. Do about 6 right now. So these are going to go for about, I would say, 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, depending on how high your heat is, until you have a nice color on them. And then we'll flip them over, and we'll do the same thing on the other side, and then finish them off in the oven at 350 degrees, 6 to 8 minutes in the oven, maybe 10 minutes depending on how well you like them. Alright, so we're back and our crab cakes are out of the oven. I've put a little bit of aioli on the plate. I'm going to take the back of my spoon and I'm going to do a little spoon swipe like that. Okay? And then what we're going to do is set this crab cake right in the middle like that. Alright? I've got some fresh dill. I'm just going to pull off and kind of put around this. A little more lemon zest on the top there. A little bit of lime zest also. So I hope you enjoyed making crab cakes with me, and looking forward to our next adventure, what we might cook together. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, 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 boop-boo. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, 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 boop-boo.